like it.
There you go.
Welcome to the party.
What's poppin'? Welcome to episode 3 of the podcast. We still haven't thought of a name yet, so if you have any, just comment them. We're open-minded to anything, so just shoot away. And this episode is going to be about good anxiety, how not all forms of anxiety can be bad, or you can transmit your bad anxiety into something more beneficial for your life. So, without further ado, we're going to get into it. Any elaboration on good anxiety?
Yeah, let me take a crack at it. So, I think the most important thing for anxiety is probably to get it in a position where it pushes you instead of standing in your way. Because, I mean, if you're trying to do something, obviously, like, you have something like anticipatory anxiety, like, you're scared to do something. Like, that's the feeling you get when you sit down on a roller coaster and it hasn't taken off yet. Because you're like, holy shit.
Because all those possibilities come through your head, you're like, oh my god, I could fall off this
Right.
Which isn't gonna happen.
And then you get on it, and then you have a great time. So,
Have a great time.
Yeah.
So it's just, everyone...
That directly correlates to your future as well. Like the
directly.
positive, it's an anxiety, because it's the unknown. Your future is unknown, so
Entirely.
you have anxious thoughts like, what is my future gonna hold for me?
Mhm.
But that is a driving factor in your life, and the power of not knowing just keeps you going.
Keeps you going. So like, your present moment is so to say, like you sitting in that car in the roller coaster, it's about to take off, and you're just like, I have no idea what's ahead of me. Like, I could die, but like that's always a possibility. You could die whenever.
right.
So if you can just channel that anxiety to not like worry about it, be like, I don't know what's coming. What's coming? Am I gonna be poor? Am I gonna succeed? You should channel that anxiety into something like, what can I do right now to make me more
Right.
likely to have that future that I desire? You know, constantly be looking for new branches to expand yourself, expand your financial income, and all that shit.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think with anxiety in general, like, some people get to the top because they strive to be at the top. That's where they want to be. A lot of people get to the top because they're running away from the bottom. And I think that's an equally powerful force as the drive to succeed is the drive not to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
when you channel your anxiety into, like, to stop hindering you from your success, but actually driving you away from failure,
Mhm.
I think that's the position that it's important to be in for your anxiety to work in your favor.
Yeah,
Definitely.
or the fear of being average.
Right.
I'm so
Yeah,
scared of
you
that.
just want to be above.
I'm so scared of that. And people get a lot of anxiety about their futures because they don't realize that it's okay to lose.
Right.
Dude, winning means being like unafraid to lose.
Mhm.
Like you're
Right.
not gonna be a winner without losing. Like it just
Right.
doesn't happen in this world. You just need to be okay with taking the loss, figuring out what you did wrong, analyzing everything, so you can bounce back that much harder next time to win. It's just
Bounce back. Winners are literally unafraid. So like, you just kind of gotta go into things like balls to the wall. And like, if it doesn't go your way,
commit.
if it doesn't go your way, you're gonna learn something from it. So like, if you do it again, how do you beat someone that doesn't give up? Like, how do you?
I mean, you can't. That's the
You
thing. is
literally
You can't.
You can't give up either.
You can't beat someone that doesn't give up though. So like,
Yeah.
so like, say I want to make $5 million by the time I'm 30, or 40 even, just because like some people don't even make that in their lifetime. How is anyone gonna stop me if I don't let one negative judgment get to me? How do you take someone down who's just like totally concentrated, totally focused?
I mean, nothing can stop you.
because nothing's distracting you. You don't have any doubt. It's all about the final result. Like, I know I'm gonna get there, and this is how I'm gonna do it. Nothing is gonna get in my way.
Nothing.
It's cliche, but you only really lose when you quit.
Yeah. And if you don't quit,
Then you don't
You're
lose.
just learning. You're learning.
It's a lesson. It's not a loss.
and learning is winning. So
Right.
like, how are you?
Learning
ever-
is winning. That's what people don't understand. When you're building that process to become a better winner, you need to learn in the process of doing that. Like Kobe and MJ, they didn't get to that point without studying the game. It's just the tedious things that add up to the bigger picture.
Yeah, like how many game-winning shots did Michael Jordan miss? Probably like, I think there's a stat like 80 game-winning shots that he missed, but he still takes them. You know, because like.
Oh yeah.
I saw this one thing that was like, if someone shoots 0 for 9 and they stop shooting, that's worse than them like going 1 for 15.
Yeah,
because
I
they-
think that was Deion Waiters
Yeah,
that said
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
think it was quoting Kobe. He said something like, Like,
because they lost their confidence.
Yeah. Like, even when you're 0-9, when you're that far in the hole, like, you just have to keep shooting.
You gotta keep
You
shooting. It goes the same for women. You know, if you're a dude,
Yup.
you just gotta keep shooting, bro. I mean,
Keep shooting that shot.
One of them's gotta go in, right?
Might have a couple bricks here and there, but you know.
Bad bricks. Bad bricks. Bad bricks.
Ah!
You just gotta learn from the brick, bro.
Dude, you need to be totally okay with rejection.
Right.
It's just, you're gonna get rejected in so many things in life, but the ability to bounce back is so important in life. Or you just need to recover and put it behind you, learn from it, and then grow to the next stage.
Just bounce back.
Bounce back.
You can't take it so personally, you know. You can't be like, oh, she denied me because I'm ugly, because I'm. It's probably their personal preference, and
I get it.
She's not the same as
everyone
other
has
girl.
a different type.
Right.
Everyone has a different type. So if you can just consciously wire yourself to be like, on to the next with everything, you'll literally be golden.
I think you actually just brought up a really good point, Alex. Like, when people do get rejected, or let's just take that for example, people are so quick to turn it into a reason about something that's bad about them. Like this is the entire possibility of reasons that someone could have rejected you, and reasons about you is like one point right here, like one small part of all the possible things that could be why a person isn't fucking with you. And for you to automatically think it's that specific set of reasons, I mean,
the straight assumption,
it's just unneeded.
The straight up,
right.
It's like what anxiety pretty much is. You're making up these false stories in your head.
Don't make assumptions,
because you're making these past assumptions from something that happened in your past, and by implementing that into your thoughts, you're creating the likelihood of it being in your present reality.
You are the placebo.
Yeah, yes sir. Yes sir, great book. So like the more you think about something that happened from your past, the more likely it's going to be apparent in your future and your present. So if you had a bad experience with a girl, you made a fool of yourself, and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that shit again. You're just increasing the likelihood of it happening again. So people, I didn't even know that until like 3 days ago, but now that I know that, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to stop thinking about that shit, because it has nothing to do with right now.
Right, it's all about change. I think that's one of the main themes in the book, You Are the Placebo, is just, fundamentally, it's just change. Like, you have to be changing all the time.
You have to be. You can't get stuck in the same routine.
You can't get stagnant. Because once you get stagnant, you grow algae. And you get fucking disgusting.
Literally, a great example.
You get fucking disgusting.
Gotta clean that fish tank.
Gotta clean the tank. But you should. So another thing that people should implement into their lives is intention behind their attention.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to think of a good way to elaborate on that.
You have your attention. Okay, so you're studying, right? Mm-hmm. Your attention is on what you're studying. So you're reading a textbook. If you truly have an intention of getting a good grade on a test, that intention makes your attention to reading that much more powerful.
That's a good way of putting it.
So it's just so much more attention on what you're reading, and you just develop those thoughts and ideas and learn from them.
That's a great way of putting it. That's a really great way of putting it.
Right. I think the intention to your attention is kind of like, I think that's a good guide for implementing the things that you want to happen, because, I mean, your attention is the first part of it. You have to be able to look and see, like, what you're doing, and then the intention is actually manifesting what you want in your reality. So I think that's just a great, like, 1-2 punch for, like, implementing your thoughts, the things that you want, implementing your intentions into reality through your attention, if that makes sense.
I want to elaborate on manifestation. So for the people who don't know what manifestation is, personally I would explain it as manifestation is kind of like intention, in a way. You are consciously thinking about a thought that you want, or something that you see in your future. So you're manifesting, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire. And that goes into your thoughts, and if you consciously keep putting that into your thoughts, it will make a concrete formation, and you'll just constantly be striving to reach that. So you're manifesting that you're going to be a millionaire in your future. That gives you a better chance of becoming a millionaire in your future because you're going to be thinking about what to do to get you to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a quick example of
Yeah,
manifestation.
you're wiring your subconscious
Yeah.
to fire that neural pathway more often. So the more you think about it, the more likely it is to come
more-
into your reality, because
It
you're
becomes
gonna.
more concrete.
So those thoughts create feelings, and those feelings create actions, and those actions are what create the success. So you're gonna have to think about it enough to the point where you feel it. You know, it's like I want to live in Chicago, so every morning I wake up and I visualize what that feeling will be when I wake up and I'm looking out.
Yeah, you're looking
Right.
up at the buildings. You're
yeah.
like, all right, this is gonna be me.
Yeah, and I visualize myself feeling what I'll feel like once I finally make it there. So those feelings create continuous action. So I'm taking these actions every day to increase the likelihood of me making that happen.
Right. I think this goes hand in hand with an old cliche. It goes something like, dress for the job you want to have, not for the job that you have. Something like that.
So like you're putting yourself in the shoes of the person you want to be,
Right.
not the person that you currently
That's
are.
so important.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fundamental idea behind that is the more you think about something, like when you visualize something in your head, those thoughts become embedded in your mind, and then they eventually seep into your actions in the real world.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, the actions is what creates the success. Like, success doesn't come on thoughts alone. The thoughts have to be implemented into the real world, like via what you do. And then that's what creates the success.
Mhm.
So I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
You need to have action.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with an idea, though. So once you get the idea, you can plan from that idea,
Right.
and then implement it. So honestly, just train your brain to fire you ideas. But once you find one, you're like, oh shit, that'll work.
Mhm.
That'll work. Then you just roll with it. And if it doesn't go your way your first 5 times, if you know it'll work, if you figure it out, just keep trying.
Right. You have to take the information on why you failed, pivot, and then come at it from a different angle, armed with the knowledge that you have from when you tried it and it didn't work.
Yeah, like these podcasts. For perfect example, like obviously we want to succeed a lot, and if our video views keep declining, there's obviously a way that we can make them increase.
We're gonna switch it up.
Yeah, and because we won't give up, so failure isn't an option. So with trial and error, the only way is success.
Right.
Trial and error. Figure out what works.
Yeah, I mean, I think a key with that too is just you gotta be persistent. Like, goes back to the beginning of the conversation. You can't give up. You gotta be persistent. Like, you're going to fail. It's going to happen.
Oh, certain.
Like,
certain.
but you just have to stay persistent. You have to persevere. You know.
Even though that shit gets boring. Sometimes.
I mean, it's hard.
The persistency.
It fucking
You gotta
sucks.
chase it, man. You
Quitting
have to
is
chase-
easy.
It won't chase you.
Quitting is easy. Quitting
it will
is
not
easy.
chase you. You have to chase your success and your dreams.
Constantly
goals.
be evolving to make it not as boring, less interesting. So you gotta make it more. You have to make it more interesting. No one's gonna make it more interesting for you.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's why I feel like if we ever move locations,
Dude,
more
that's why.
topics.
That's why, like, to keep your interest flowing, I would give someone advice and say, treat like whatever you're doing sort of as a game. You know,
everything's it's
like
it's no deeper.
when you break everything down, you can consider life a game. The game, it's like kind of like Monopoly. You know, you go through life. Most people go through life and they chase the bag. They want the money, right? So if you treat that as a game to a smaller scale, like, what am I gonna do today to get better at this game of life, to like increase my knowledge or skills to get to that next level, which gets me more money or more happiness, whatever you want, and you just keep on progressing through these levels and keep becoming more content, more wealthy, more happy, have more love.
Dude, you'll be unstoppable.
Oh, I know.
If you can just wire yourself to never give up, constantly be looking for new experiences, new feelings,
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you'll be unbeatable.
I actually remember we had a conversation about that exact analogy about how treating life as a game. Like, we had a conversation about that as like a week or two ago, and I think the real like nugget of gold behind that particular idea is the fact that you have to stay detached. Like, if you die in a video game and like you take it personally,
Yeah.
like you're just being a weirdo. Like, and it's the same way in life. Like if you fail, like you just can't take it personally. Like
you just gotta bounce back.
Right. You have to stay deep. You have to be able to like. You are the conscious observer of your emotions. So when you experience an emotion, you have to be able to step back. And I think that's what the game analogy is really trying to say.
And figure out why you're experiencing that emotion. Because if there's a negative emotion, we've talked about this. Negative emotion just means there's something needs to change.
Right.
Whether that be consciously or in the real world. So I mean, like, say you get killed in Call of Duty and you get like butthurt about it, which is like it happens, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
But, like,
It's easy to get pissed
so
about
easy.
it.
It's easy to get pissed.
Yeah,
off.
I mean, I think an idea I really like is when like when you get pissed about something or like something really annoys you, there's basically two fundamental ways you can treat that. You can say, look, like I'm being immature, like I need to grow up, like I shouldn't be mad over this, it's stupid, like maybe like petty jealousy or something like that. Like you have to either say, look, like this is an immature emotion. Like if I pursue this, it's not gonna be good for anyone.
Exactly.
And then the other side of that is thinking, okay, maybe this is something that actually warrants me being upset about. So I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I mean it's basically those two ways of treating it. You have to like when you have those emotions, it's look like. Is this justified, first and foremost? Like, should I be mad about this? Is it right for me to be mad about this? Or am I just being petty? And if you're just being petty, then that's when you really have to detach yourself from the emotion and say, like, look, I know my body is feeling like this, but you have to be smarter than your emotions.
You have to be. Control your emotions before they control you.
Right,
You
right.
really just need to take. It's all about taking that step back and analyzing yourself and how you feel, how your body feels, how your mind feels. It's two different things. Taking a step back and analyzing it, it will just give you so much more perspective.
Dude, once I started to do that, like, I felt myself become like more as an intellect. You know what I mean? Like when I could catch myself, you know how sometimes you just spit words out unknowingly, like unconsciously, you're saying shit and you sound stupid because you're just.
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time. Like in high school, I would just talk and I would sound like a fucking idiot because I wouldn't really think about it. But once I started to be able to control myself, like, and take a step back and be like, all right, should I really say this or is this gonna, like me and my dad especially, bro, we would butt heads. I would just throw fucking heat at him.
Saying shit.
You gotta know when enough is enough.
Yeah.
And that just comes down to a higher level of consciousness. Like when you're aware of most of your thoughts. Sometimes it's bad to be too aware of your thoughts because then you just critique everything and you just like you're so judgmental of your thoughts and of yourself. So you need to find the happy medium to where you're conscious about your emotions, but you're not analyzing every single thing you do in this world because then you'll just be caught up over little things.
Just an understanding more of just like why you do that and like accept why you do that. Like some people get like sad over or jealous. Like don't beat yourself up for being the jealous type. Understand why you're the jealous type. Like you're a loving person. Like you don't want to give affection to someone that only you want to give affection to. Don't beat yourself up over that, but like obviously there's room for improvement in that aspect. Be like, okay, I understand why I feel this way, but I can improve this just by taking a step back and realizing that they're not my person. They never were mine to begin with. Like they're their own person.
Yeah.
Dude, jealousy is such a dangerous thing that we have created as humans.
Social media makes that so easy, bro.
Oh,
so
easy to fall into the jealousy trap. It's just the
it's
Dude,
mind-boggling.
Jealousy can just tear you apart.
Dude, girls like dead ass compare themselves to Kylie Jenner. Like think about it.
Dude, it tears friendships apart. It tears yourself apart because you feel like shit.
And you just like there's like girls in friend groups will there's always that one girl in the friend group that's like the baddest, you know, like for most. And some girls will be like, why can't I look like her? She gets all the boys. But by putting that like thought onto the universe, why does she get more boys than me? Is just making it more prevalent. Like, and it ruins people because they're comparing themselves to someone that they are genetically nothing alike.
Right.
Dude, you know what else is actually really intricate, and it comes down to just our genetics and like evolution is finding the alphas or the top people in each group. Every single friend group has that one girl or that one guy who is just the most influential, who people just respect the most. And you can, if you take a step back and like you're hanging out with your friends or whatever, and you really analyze the situation, you can tell like who that person is just by observing other people's like emotions and body language towards others. You can tell like who that person is.
Like just by their feet. Just by their feet or their heads, the way they
like if other people's like when you're talking and communicating with other people, the attention is where your feet goes
subconsciously.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like people will point themselves where all their attention is. Like so if you're in a group, like a circle, and you're talking, just look at people's feet, and you can tell who's really the center of attention. And you're like, yeah, it's fucking whack.
It's really about being observant over everything.
Take a step back and
the more observant you are of life and everything in life, it's just the more appreciation you gain, honestly. Because like if you look at the intricate, like if you look at a leaf, you never take the time to look at a leaf on a tree.
And you're sitting there,
and it's so intricate.
There's so much detail into it. Just a fucking leaf.
But we never think about that stuff because there's always something else going on in our head or bigger picture. But if you just take a step back, you can learn to appreciate things for what they are.
Bro, it's crazy how like something as simple as a leaf can be as intricate as like a human body. Because like it has veins going through the leaf. It came from a living tree. Like bro, I don't know. And our veins look like tree roots. And have you ever seen like a DNA cell like explode?
No, sir.
It looks exactly like a star explosion. I don't know what the fuck it was called, but like I feel like each human is like the universe experiencing it. The universe has like a wave is the ocean experience. Like one single wave is an effect from the whole ocean. Like it's so fucking hard to explain, but like
it is. It's very intricate.
I get it in my head, but like I can't pronunciate it. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, man.
It's one of those fucking things. But it's just crazy because like we're all so intricately designed, and people just kind of think it's normal.
Yeah, I mean,
it is normal. But
shit really like layers on each other. Like, if you think about like atoms and molecules, I mean, that's on some level the same thing as what like planets and asteroids are. Just it's on just a completely different scale of size.
Yeah.
Like how you said human veins kind of look like tree roots. I mean, I don't think that's a coincidence.
It's not.
I mean, in some ways they serve the same purpose. I mean, your veins have to give nutrients to other parts of your bodies.
And
that's what roots of the tree
come from your heart, right?
Right.
And the tree roots go down into the earth.
They absorb nutrients.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's coincidence either.
Life is intricate, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's fucking wild, bro.
If you're ever feeling negative, just try to take a step back and realize that that's a bad mood and you can change it.
Right.
Once people realize that they're in total control of their fucking emotions, bro. I mean, like, not total control, but you are the observer of your emotions, so therefore you can change it.
Right.
So your emotions come, and you're just like, oh fuck. All right. So you get that sad emotion. Your subconscious shoots a thought to match that exact feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you have a sad thought, you're gonna have thoughts that come out that match that sad feeling. So when you have a happy thought, your brain shoots out feelings that match that emotion. So if you can just think of one thing that makes you happy, you'll start the snowball effect of a happier emotion.
Yeah, I think when an event happens, there's two events that happen as consequences of it. So, like an event happens and you have a physiological reaction. So you experience an emotion and you can't control that. You can't control what it is. You can't control how powerful that emotion comes on. And then the action after that is your own conscious interpretation of what happens. And I think it's important to not let the physiological reaction influence how you consciously interpret what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, emotions are something that everyone experiences to some
Yeah.
degree or another. But if you have to be able to step back, kind of like what you were saying earlier, and be able to observe the emotion from outside of it. And then that's when you can say, okay, so this happened. It might not be a big deal, okay, but I reacted to that. Was that reaction warranted? Probably not. And then that's where you can really start to figure things out.
Moods are always on the run, man.
Always. Constantly changing.
Constantly.
Constantly change. But once you add more intention to your attention, you can change your mood whenever.
Right. I was going to say this earlier. I think it was Shakespeare. He said, nothing is good or bad. It's only what you think of it. Something like that.
See, that's really deep because that can relate to
far.
anything in life.
Anything.
And Shakespeare knew this thousands of years ago.
Say that one more time.
Well, not thousands. Nothing is good or bad. It's only what you think of it.
It's only what you think of it. It's crazy as fuck.
Nothing is good or bad. A person, not good or bad. It's only what you think of them.
Wow. Because nothing has a title just stamped on it, bad or good, because everyone has a different
Right.
perception of it.
Stimuli is almost always neutral.
It's always neutral.
And your interpretation is your own imprint on what happens.
I heard this one quote.
That just comes back to stereotypes, you know, labeling people.
Mhm.
Judgmental people, you know, just like pre-judgmental assumptions, you know.
Everything.
Like before you meet someone, you're like, I don't like that dude. I'm not gonna hang out with him, you know. Like before
You
you
didn't
even
even know this dude.
Right.
It reminds me of this one quote. It was a lot of the times the problem isn't the problem. The way we think about the problem is the problem.
Yeah.
So like if you just think differently, it's not. Your thoughts have so much power behind them, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So much power behind them. What time's that at?
I can't even tell.
26?
What do you say? All right.
Should we cash it?
Yes, guys.
Cash.
Cash. All right. I hope you enjoyed podcast number 3. Tune in next Wednesday. Thank you for watching.